Hey, what's going on? Just wanted to quickly hop on here, show you guys how to build a predictable YouTube funnel that books you 15 to 30 calls monthly. I use this exact system to help my client Yiannis scale his YouTube sales funnel for his AI agency Accelerator. Head over to my website, listen to the full interview with Yiannis, and see other client videos we've made as well. And here's what I'm going to walk you through today. First of all, I'll cover why is this actually predictable funnel. I'll walk you through the deep ICP understanding, the 3-level funnel and its transformation, and the exact video creation process to turn viewers into meetings and meetings to clients. Let's begin by understanding why is it actually a predictable YouTube funnel. As you know, when you're starting your agency or your business, you might have started by using cold email, like cold calls or paid ads, whatever to get you to your first couple of clients, allowing you to scale later, right? But you've probably hit the point, or you will hit the point, when you only can do so much outreach during the day and you cannot do more. So you hit the ceiling with all your outreach, and now you're wondering how you can scale, right? And the thing with YouTube is that it does not hit the ceiling any time. You basically need to create YouTube videos consistently, and then all of that YouTube growth will compound for you and for your business, right? So I'll give you an example how that looks like in reality, right? So let's say YouTube, it will take a little longer to start seeing some results, but when it starts working, it compounds and it goes exponentially higher than you'd expect, right? And with all of these different methods, with paid ads, with call outreach, it's all linear. Basically, the more input you put, so the more money you spend on the ads, the more messages you send, then you can get better results with it, right? So let's say during all this time, by doing outreach, you can get very far ahead, but you'll hit some time when you hit the ceiling and you only can do as much outreach as possible. And the faster you can start YouTube, it will be better, because you'll start here. Obviously, it will take some time to grow. And then when it starts growing, you'll be here, right? This is the turning point where from being dependent on outreach and on paid ads or whatever you use to grow, you'll be able to generate client meetings for yourself through YouTube, because your YouTube will have enough viewers and it will be basically a free channel for you to grow. And what's even cooler, if you're scaling your paid ads campaigns, right, you can only go this far, for example, right? But if you suddenly add YouTube to it, right? So let's say someone starts YouTube, then your paid ad campaigns will probably also perform much better, because now you can attract some people, push them to YouTube, and then when they watch your YouTube, they convert, they sell your services or your offer to themselves, because they will be consuming a lot of your content, right? So there's much more potential for your offer to grow with YouTube versus not having it at all. And obviously, the faster you can start growing your channel, the faster you're going to see exponential results here, right? Now, the whole concept of predictable YouTube funnels is behind the Predictable Revenue book. It's a book that I've read a long time ago, and I should probably just get back to it, because it's like gold for all of the service-based businesses, but also like SaaS companies and basically any business that you ever see on the planet, right? So it's pretty obvious that predictability comes from consistent lead generation activities, right? If you're doing cold emails, you know how many emails you're going to need to get your first response or get your first meeting booked, and how many of these meetings you'll need to basically close your first clients, right? So from this comes predictability from consistent lead generation activities. And in the YouTube sales funnel, obviously our money generating activity is creating content for YouTube. This is a money generating activity. The second takeaway from Predictable Revenue book is focusing on specific segments of customers where you have the strongest product market fit, right? So when you have a SaaS company like Salesforce, for example, you have a CRM, you're not going to promote yourself to basically everyone who can use a computer, because that doesn't make sense, right? If you're an agency owner, you're not going to market to everyone. This is the worst mistake, right? And same applies to your YouTube funnel, because you cannot just make very generic videos about like any topics, unless you're like a very big and well-known person. But I imagine a lot of you are not like celebrities online. So we'll get into like the second part of the video in a little bit, where we define very deeply what's our ICP, right? This is where the predictability comes from too. And the last one is very much focused on the YouTube aspect, because when I see most business owners starting their YouTube channels, they only think about the ideas and then producing the idea, but they do not think about how to package this idea to deliver the message properly, right? The main difference is that a lot of people create a video for any idea they think is right. And this couldn't be worse, because think of it that way. You spend like 6 hours on like your YouTube video, and that translates to maybe 200 views, versus you spend 3 hours on creating a YouTube video and then 3 hours on doing research and packaging and brainstorming, and then you can get exponentially higher results from it. And honestly, this last one, this applies to your paid ads. This applies to cold outreach. Whenever you see something is working for someone else, you try to copy it and apply it to your own situation. Obviously, you cannot just like copy and paste, but you observe what people are doing and try to reverse engineer, like still like an artist, to the point where you have a proven idea by someone else, and then you spend your time only on those proven ideas, so you're not wasting time on videos that will flop, right? This is the whole concept of predictability in your YouTube funnel. And now, coming down to the deep ICP understanding section, I told you already, we need to understand who we're trying to create content for, right? So I prepared here like a small diagram where we have a layered target model. Basically, think of it like an onion, right? This is an onion, all of the layers. You see only the outer layer, right? And you can also think of it like this is your total addressable market. So all of the people that you can market to. I gave you an example before, like a CRM company will not market their services, their product to everyone who has a computer. No, they will be marketing to enterprise sales teams or stuff like that. And I'll give you now an example of like how that would look like for me from like my offer perspective. And by the way, the offer that I run currently is building a YouTube funnel completely done for you. You just need to film your videos and send them to me. I do all of the process for you, so you can book 15 to 30 calls monthly from your YouTube organically. When I see my onion here, right, my total addressable market, so everyone that I could potentially target in my YouTube videos, it's very broad, because my offer could be like helping every YouTube creator create better content, right? I will not create good content and I will not blow up on YouTube. I will not get a lot of good results from YouTube by posting tips on how to be a better YouTube creator, because I'm not the biggest YouTube creator. I don't have a big enough channel to have enough competence to speak about it. But I worked with a lot of agency owners who have their channels, and this is how we can progress here. We go from very generic YouTube creators to now agency owners. Okay, cool. I can make content for agency owners making their YouTube videos. I can make content for agency owners running their YouTube channels. But the problem might be is they don't have enough money, right? So I disqualify all the people who don't have money to work with me. Now we're here probably, right? 20K a month. If you're making 20K a month, you can work. This is like the third layer or something, right? And then we come down to agency owners who tried YouTube but got 0 qualified leads. So this would be actually here. This is the section that we're talking about here. And by creating content specifically for this group of people, like you create very deep targeting for your content. You're targeting people with very specific problems, and that's how you're gonna make a lot more money. Instead of creating content like top 10 a side hustle, think of who you're trying to serve, right? Now let's map out how we can come up with the ideas for your content. So pretty much we need to think of all of the pain points, all of the fears, all of the struggles that our current clients have. If you have your clients already, this is actually pretty easy. If you don't have any clients, I'm not sure if there's going to be anyone who's watching this video if they don't have clients, but you need to understand these, right? Just list them on a document, then that's you in the middle. And you also have to think of the target revenue your clients dream of, like the time savings that you can offer them. So let's say you have an automation agency, you can save your clients like 40 hours a week. That's a time saving, a value that they will get. This is some sort of result that they can expect from you, from your videos. They'll like to watch videos about like how to get more money, how to save time, how to basically make something easier for them. So they have any sort of manual processes, now you can show them how to actually automate it, or stuff like that. So you again do a list of 10 for each. Then you can understand very well what problems your clients have, what kind of results they are expecting, and how you're bridging this gap for them, right? And this is where all of your ideas are coming from. So basically we'll go here and we're going to the step 3. And now we're going to the section about the funnels. Obviously, if you click this video, you know what a funnel is. I'll give an example of a YouTube funnel based on a very popular creator, business owner, Yiannis. Before we even get down to like each of these, I want to share with you what you can do initially when you start your YouTube channel, or you start a new strategy for your YouTube channel. You can basically take all of the pains, all of the struggles, all of the fears, all of the revenue goals, all of the time savings goals, all of that, and create a full guide, full course that's free on your channel. That's like 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 4 hours, 6 hours, whatever. You make a full course about this, you go deep into each element that will allow people to achieve their end results, their end goals, right? And you make one big video that you can later use for other ideas that you see here. So top of the funnel, we try to attract as much people as we can here. This is also some sort of boost for our channel, because when you only niche down in your videos, you're gonna get low views. But sometimes it's a nice idea to also push new people to your channel, and then they can gradually start watching some of your other videos. So they'll find your channel and they will go to more middle of the funnel videos, right? So this is how we can articulate their problems, show them how they can win with all of your clear step-by-step frameworks. This is also when they will start understanding and recognize some patterns in the process that's required to achieve their end goal. So they, for example, want to start making 10K a month, something like this, right? This is their end goal. You're showing them like, what's the difference between this model versus this model, right? I imagine you need to be more advanced. You're looking for some specific step-by-step templates, how you're trying to basically solve some of your problems. And then bottom of the funnel is basically where you show case study videos or you create client interviews. And that's how you are gonna close a lot more clients here. So bottom of the funnel, you go very deep into the process. You try to overwhelm people with social proof. And that's also how you're gonna speak silently to the skeptics, like people who have objections. People normally would go to your calls with objections. These videos will break those objections. We'll see and trust that your services, your deliverables will solve their problems, right? But I told you that this is a transformation from a funnel to a flywheel. If you know what's like a marketing flywheel, is basically consistent and continuous version of the funnel where you have a top of the funnel. Basically, you're trying to attract new people to your channel, so they will come from different places, right? Then some of these guys will start watching more of your above funnel, middle of the funnel, and then some of these guys will start watching your above funnel also. And at each step of your journey, and at each cycle, pretty much, you're gonna have people who will come from the outside, people who come from your previous steps. So maybe they've seen you somewhere on their feed, they saw your like very generic video about how to get started with XYZ. They watch your another video in the middle of the funnel, and then they watch some of your social proof videos, but they didn't convert, but then they will keep watching your content, and they'll keep watching your content as long as it's valuable. So basically what you can do is create a cycle where you have one top of the funnel video, two middle of the funnel video, then you can do another middle of the funnel video, and then you can do bottom of the funnel video. And basically you would go from this to this and just repeat it over and over again. This is a flywheel, this is a funnel. I think that's pretty clear difference. When you go on YouTube, you're not going to YouTube just to create 4 videos, right? You're gonna keep doing your videos forever, basically, because that's how long you're gonna get paid from YouTube to do all of these videos, because people will book on your calendar and they will see that your services, your stuff is actually valuable and they want to work with you, right? And now we're getting into the final step of like how to build this funnel. You obviously need to know how to create content, how to create videos, right? So we already talked about the biggest pains, the biggest struggles. Now try to think of like the biggest misconceptions. So, you know, maybe some people think that, oh, creating your YouTube channel is not for technical people, or starting a dropshipping store is not for people who are like over 30 or something like this. Like it can be whatever, like whatever misconceptions your clients had before they started working with them. Just try to list down all of it, list down all of the biggest goals they are interested in achieving, and then their biggest pain points. And this will lead us to the process itself. So we start with ideas, right? From all of these 3, we'll list down some ideas, right? We try to turn the sales objections into video topics. We find what problems your clients complain about the most, you know, and you can like tie all of this to your personal story, your background, your results, and basically go with it, right? So try to come up with at least 4 videos. You can basically, when you do first 4 videos, first you can go to your competition, and then you can also just think of your own research. I'll just say own ideas. So you can have 2 videos based on your competition or like other ideas that you've seen in other industries, and then your own ideas. That's going to get you at least 4 ideas to start with. And you can also obviously create a full course video. But I would recommend doing this full course video after you hit your first 4 videos. Then a lot of people skip the second point, which is outlier research, and there's like still not enough people doing this. It's basically you look for all of the videos that worked exceptionally well, so they perform like 10 times better than other videos, and you try to replicate those videos, you're not just looking at like the ideas that you like from other people, but you're looking at real data, real results from other people. And that's how you're gonna like come up with the best packaging ideas, but also like ideas for your videos. But just look at viral videos in similar niches, or like niches that you're interested in. It can be really whatever. Try to think of like what's different, what makes it different for these videos, and just try to copy the successful video formats for your market. And what I mean by this is basically try to replicate the title or the thumbnail. It depends whether it's in your own niche or if it's in other niches. Then we come down to scripting. You know, you want to think of writing scripts that sell while teaching. So obviously you're going to provide value, but please remember about like your call to action in the right places. I also made another video about it already that you can check on my channel, but you also focus on like the beliefs, the psychology, what's going on in their mind, what questions they subconsciously think of when they watch your video. Just try to think of all of this. Obviously, it's easier said than done, but it's what allows your video to be more than just average. And then filming. You can record 4 videos at once. Just use good lighting, clear audio, and you don't need to be following your scripts word to word. And I actually don't do it as well. Just try to be very authentic. Don't try to overly be polished. Like try to talk naturally, like you're talking to your friend where you're filming. The 5th step is editing. Obviously, you want to cut as much as possible and like make the video engaging, because when you're like talking slowly and like you're just bad at speaking like I am, you need to use editing to actually create content that's not going to be boring for people. I hope this one is not very boring for you, but if you're watching this far, I think you're getting some value here. Obviously you want to add some graphics, maybe some client results like screenshots, all that stuff that will help you get better. And then packaging and thumbnails and titles. Obviously, we already done the research, so you just need to have a thumbnail designer just share the ideas that you have. You can use some numbers, you can add results in your titles. Try to make it like impossible not to click on your video. And that's how you're going to stand out from other business coaches or like agencies. And then obviously uploading. This is the last step. Adding keywords, writing descriptions, and tracking which videos book the most calls. The last point is obviously the most important from all of these, because you need to understand like what videos will get you the most clients and try to do as much of them as possible, right? But this is the process of creating your YouTube funnel. Obviously takes time, and you'll face a lot of roadblocks on this journey. So if you're too busy to handle all of that and you want to work with someone who does this full time, you can just go to the first link in the description and book a call with me. And I'll do what I can on this call to give you some ideas, give you some tips, whether we're going to end up working together or not. We're going to have like 40 minutes to discuss your YouTube strategy, and you'll be able to decide whether you want to work with us or not. So this is pretty much it. If you found value in this video, please watch my other videos. You're probably going to see some right now on the screen. So please click it, and I'll see you in the next one.